Hello, hello. It's Carrie with Lemia Fox, and I'm back. So this is how we left it last night. So I wanted to continue this morning. As you can see, I have this lovely little piece like so. Here's my frame. Here's my little piece of my sheet protector that I've put this butterfly and this little piece of greenery in. This is what it looks like here and framed. And this is going to be the piece that goes behind it. What I want to do now yesterday when I made up these two, I don't know if you can tell, but there is glitter. There's this fine glitter that's actually in there. So what I am going to do, that's why I wanted to really walk away. Just sometimes you got to walk away from a project so that you can not be impatient. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glitter. I want to put a little bit of glitter on here. Really just a touch. Hopefully that's not too much. I just want a little bit. Enough, just enough to really get around in there. I want it to be able to kind of shake. I like shaker box thingies. But if it doesn't work out that way, I still like the aspect of having glitter in there. You know, I like it because it kind of gives it a nice little look. It's just a glittery look. I'm not super into glitter, honestly, but I like that it kind of gives it a little bit. Now I'm going to want to seal these two edges right here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac or my Fabri-Fix, and I'm just going to do a light, kind of try to do a line here at the top and down the side. And close it. I'm going to go ahead and put a book on top. It's not a super heavy book, but it'll give it even pressure. Okay, so I hope that that's going to do it. See, so that's all going to be hidden by the frame. So now we come to this. We've got this right here. And, well, we got options actually. These two have been cut down to 3 3/4 by 8 3/4 long. Now, the way that this works is this is our way to be able to reconnect this onto here, basically. And it also, because we're taking, remember when we cut off this little piece on this end, because we're making this into a pocket right here. So this will replace this little piece on the end as well. And this is how we make it so that it's a double pocket. A pocket here as well as here. This is how I'm going to do it. My piece has been cut to 3 3/4 by 8 3/4. And what I'm going to do is I'm kind of making it so that I can see where, okay, this is where this bend is going to be, okay? And then this is where this bend is going to be. So I'm kind of forming it up a little bit, because then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take my frame. This is my frame right here. I'm going to take my frame and I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going to trace out my frame back here. And I forgot to mention, if you do not have a frame punch board set, you can still do this project. Of course, I had to cut this out so that I could cut this out, right? But there is a way to be able to cut this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my handy dandy Crop-A-Dile and I'm going to go ahead and see where there's these rounded corners right here. Well, I'm not good at doing rounded corners, but this will do, you know, the holes. So I try to put this and center it down in, and I'm not sure if you can see. I center it down on that corner right there. And I go ahead and make all of those holes all the way around. This is kind of like, how I got this idea is I was watching some DIY stuff and drilling. I'm sorry, when you make a hole, when you're trying to make, when you're trying to do this in woodworking, this is what they do. They make a hole, a round hole, and then they cut around. So that's how I got the idea. I'm going to go ahead and cut around. I'm going to follow that line. Here's the trick to it though. You got to make sure that you follow that line. You got to make sure you follow that, or else, I don't know. Hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. This isn't perfect, but this is how I make my holes. Like when I'm doing, when I'm making the junk journals for using the junk mail envelopes, and I'm making the, I'm trying to cut out my piece of paper because I don't collage. I like to have a whole sheet of paper. Here, I'll show you. I like to have a whole sheet of paper. So this is how I make these holes for the windows in the envelopes, in the envelope journals. Anyway, that's how I do it. You can see I've made this little window, and this is what it is looking like. This is what it's going to look like. You kind of get an idea of what it will look like. So you get the idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down, and then I'm gonna prep this piece just a little bit more. And I wish that I was good at crafting and speaking. It's a hard thing to do it. But I hope that everybody's having a good day. We got snow last night when I was filming. Last night / this morning when I was filming. Early this morning when I was filming. The wind was just something else. It was kind of, yeah. Okay. And let's just kind of make sure we're getting that on there semi-straight. That's my goal. And by sewing around, it gives added protection that this is sealed. That's kind of one of the things. I want to make sure that none of my glitter comes out, because if there's one thing that I cannot stand about glitter, it's when it gets into everything. That's one thing. So doing that little extra adds a little bit protection. Alrighty, we will be using this piece, or at least parts of this piece. I've tried to put everything together that we will be using. I don't have all the bits and pieces. I tried to make sure I know what this is going to be like so that I can kind of figure out what that's going to look like. But it's kind of the basic idea. Okay, I'm actually going to take a really quick break. Okay, I'm back, and I've got my little tool that I'm going to use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a thumb hole for here and a thumb hole for here. So I'm just going to do that by taking this and doing that. This one can be a little tricky, but we'll see. Okay. All right, so that's what we've got now. I've prepared that. Now we have this. This is connected to here. I will be sewing around here. Okay. Decorative sew around here. We'll do the decorative sew. We'll do a decorative sew here. And then a decorative sew here. Kind of around here. I'm going to do a decorative sew around here. But I'll do that messy stitch kind of around. And then, once I've done that, I will do a sew. I will sew from here down and then across here like that. And then across here and down and then here around there, if that makes sense. Basically, I'm getting my sewing machine out right now, and that is what I'm doing. Okay, that is all the sewing I am doing on this. What do y'all think? So this is what we have. There's one more thing that I forgot to do. I forgot to say, I meant to sew this part onto here so that these two, you don't get this mixed up like this. We need to seal this. I forgot to sew it. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to take this and we're going to sew, we're going to just glue the top of the outside frame to the top of the inside frame. And you're going to want to be careful, more than a little careful. You don't want to accidentally glue anything. I apologize. I completely spaced that because sometimes that's just how I roll. But okay. Does that am I making sense? You guys know what I'm doing here, right? Oh, guys, give me a new brain. I just need a new brain. Okay. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. Now, you're saying, well, this pocket is here. That's great, but it's not a pocket because it can't be a tuck spot. How can that be a tuck spot? Alrighty, so that goes, let's go to these pieces right here. I've got this piece of cardstock It's kind of just a piece. It's an offcut, and I have sized it down. Okay. What you have to do is you kind of need to be able to size it down so that it'll fit down in here and just across. So I'm going to very gently, I'm just going to do this right here, just like this. And there's my pencil. And I'm folding that down. So basically, I don't want this part to go down too far on this side. And I'm going to need to cut off just a little bit because here I need to watch out for here. We're basically tucking this in on the side. This is basically, I'm making a structure strip. So you see, and I like this because it gives this a little bit more stability up here at the top. Gives this more stability, but it also kind of gives this a lip. What we're going to do is we're going to be gluing this down into here, right here at this top place right here. And then I mark right here. See where there's that sewing line? I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to make a little mark there, right there. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of mark down here. Because, you know me and my sewing job, this is actually kind of a little, not so straight, but then what I do is I start cutting on this side. So I'll put a slit here on that line. And then I just cut down to that line there. Okay. So then, and then I've got this, obviously I'm not going to cut all the way through because I want this to be able to for me to make the page and whatnot. Okay, let me go back. I will tell you this too. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to bevel these edges here. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a slice here across. Like that. Okay, that's how I'm cutting this. Now this is how it goes in. Hopefully I did this right. We're putting this one down in here, like so. Oh boy, there we go. And this up in here. And so that that can kind of fold down under there. Did that make any sense? Did you see what I did? So that is what we will have at the top. Now it's probably a good idea to have something contrasting. And luckily this pink is a little bit, it's contrasting because it's not as dark as this. But if I'd have been thinking, I would have done maybe a different thing, but this is what I got. So now we're going to just glue that all down. Right? Now that we've got it all formed, we're just going to carefully glue this down. And that is kind of a fun little thing. So we are going to want to be generous, but at the same time, we're going to want to be careful because we don't want to glue anything down. We don't want to have glued down. Right? So okay, so it's just the first lip of that. And I'm feeling like I'm not doing really well with this little tutorial. I'm trying to do my best, thinking of everything. This might be a little bit complicated. I don't know. I can be complicated. Okay, so now that makes this. This is a tuck spot, like so, right? And this is the pocket over here, like this, right? And there's a little pocket here, right here. And this, it's about 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches wide is approximately the size. To make it so that I can upload this video, I'm going to go ahead and stop now. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to join me in my next video, and I'll show you how I'm going to be finishing this up. Thanks for watching. Bye.